Delhi?
Delhi is cold. This time,
Yeah.
cold set in much earlier.
Oh, okay, okay. I see that you're wearing a jacket.
Yeah. I know. And earlier years, it used to be get cold around maybe sometime towards the middle of December.
Okay.
The minimum temperatures have already gone down to it touched about 8 or 9.
Oh, really? Really? That's really early, right?
Yeah, that's really early.
November, yeah.
Very true, very true.
Oh.
But the more distressing thing is the pollution.
I know. We read about it. We see it on news channels.
So that's a problem for us.
True.
Okay, so I think let's start the session, and we are also beaming it on Facebook Live.
Okay.
There will be audience there as well.
I see. All right.
So Lata, this is the Pioneer Book Lovers Club, which we set up in just last year in 2020.
Okay.
It's a small group. As of now, we have 60 members.
Wow.
And,
okay.
But going strong.
Very, very strong. Yeah.
And the members read and discuss and review books. We keep reviewing. We keep meeting once in a month, either virtually or physically, and keep reviewing books and discussing books. We also started a write contest 2021.
Right.
Where one of us gives a prompt, and the members are invited to write a short story.
Lovely, very nice, very nice.
And we started it in May, and we hope if we get sufficient winning stories, then in that case we intend to publish them in an anthology.
Very nice.
At the end of the year, or maybe the year after that. And the details of this are also available on our Facebook group of Pioneer Book Lovers Club. Then for the other book lovers, for the other readers on the session, we are also inviting writers, authors on our show. So which we are also running on Facebook Live, so that more readers are able to interact with their authors. So friends, our author for the month is Lata Gwalani. Welcome, Lata.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you with us. In fact, I met Lata about a year back. I would say met since that's the new normal. We met virtually.
Yeah.
And coincidences that we found a common ground also. Lata is married to Sunil, and Sunil is also a Rotary Club member like me. So that's how we came together, and we also have a common literary agent, Lalita. She is running a First Forays literary agency. So I would start off by giving a brief introduction of the author. This time I did not ask the author for her short bio, because I went through her profiles on the social media, and she has an interesting profile. In her own words on Twitter, she says, "I love to play the narrator of human experiences, transporting readers to a place where the lives of strong people with enduring flaws entwine." That's interesting. And then her Instagram profile also mentions narrator of human experiences, pondering the why and how of relationships. So, Lata, typically, when we talk of, when we say that, you are an observer of human experiences, you are an observer of humans, the impression that one gets is that either you are too quiet, because since you are busy, observing others, and not really very interactive. But Lata is quite the opposite of that. She's also a motivational speaker. So what were you like as a child? How were your your teenage years or how were you as a young adult? Please tell us something about yourself.
Okay, so thank you so much, first of all, Sanjay, and thank you to all the members who are here today. I think your Pioneer Book Club is really growing strong, and I wish it all the luck it deserves.
Thank you.
And I'm also very proud to be a part of this group too. Yes. Let me also admit, Sanjay, that since the release of my earlier book, I've been on various platforms talking, and I was dreading that nobody should ask me the question you've asked me. Okay. Because let me tell you that, yes, you're right almost when you said, am I a quiet person? I am a solitary person. I love my solitude. But that does not mean I'm antisocial. I am social, but I'm very selective about my social networks and contacts. What you see on social media, Sanjay, is the marketing persona which my publisher has forced me to become. Okay,
Okay.
against my willingness. Yes. So I'm pretty new to Instagram and all that stuff, but I'm learning the ropes. As a child also, I have I've been more of a solitary child. I've got two siblings, of course, but then I like my own activities. I'm told that I used to always pick up a book and sit in a corner and read, or I would speak to an imaginary person and tell stories to that imaginary person. This is what my parents have been telling me. As a teenager, yes, I did have a very good hostel life. I studied away from home, all of that, but I was always a keen observer of relationships, and it used to intrigue me that, why does somebody behave like this in a relationship, or what are they seeing in each other to be together, these two people, so I always used to ponder that, and I also used to keep asking myself the what if question. What if this person was with that person and not with this person? How would the equation change? And I mean, it's quite a weird working mechanism in my mind, but I think that is what is helping me to come up with a lot of observations that I've seen. And fortunately, I'm also a student of psychology,
Okay.
so that helped a lot, and it continues to help too.
Okay. 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 So what did you do, after your graduation? I think you joined journalism as a profession, or
Yes, yes. So I have done a double graduation. First is in political science, where partly the ancillary subject was also psychology. So political science, psychology, and of course English literature was there throughout. Then I also did my bachelor's in communication and journalism, and there was a campus recruitment, and I was recruited into Indian Express straight away there. And I spent about 9.5 years in active journalism as a reporter and on the field reporting on various beats. And then intermittently, I was also a features writer. So while doing reporting, since I wanted to do feature writing, I requested my editor to give me that opportunity, and I was to write for the Sunday supplement. I would write for that, and I've always been writing, Sanjay. So as a
yeah?
kid also, um, uh, birthdays in the family or extended family, they would have come to me for a birthday card, and I
Okay.
used to love writing, and I would personalize it as much as I know that person, bring in the traits of that person, and somehow rhyming and meter came automatically to me when I used to do those birthday cards.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think journalism helped me to that extent to stay in the writing zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you said that you were into active reporting.
Yes.
So which would have meant you traveling out or going to the field also, and meeting a lot of people of different kinds.
Absolutely, you said it. And that again helped my observation. I met a lot of people whom otherwise I don't think we would have an opportunity to meet in our ordinary lives. So I did travel, and I was staying away from home. When I was an active journalist, I was in Pune. Then I traveled to Delhi on work. And as a very young, journalism student, as we call, in the field of print media, we are known as cub reporters. When we are new reporters, we're literally cubs there, but there are so many wild cats around. You have to also save yourself from those wild cats. So, yeah, but it was a good learning experience. And the best thing was, you get to meet, you get to interact, you get to interview so many people. Like I've interviewed KC Pant when he was the defense minister, and I was still a cub reporter. Then I've met President R Venkatraman in the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Okay.
So these are all very good memories and great growing up experiences for me.
Okay.
So it was
And
wonderful.
somebody from the underbelly.
Underbelly, no, but if I may say, a lot of Bollywood, so maybe a little bit of underbelly there. I don't know, since there is a very thin line between the two. Yes, so I dabbled in film journalism for 6 months, and it was really very active film journalism. I mean, I would be at the studios, and I was given that special directory where all their telephone numbers are. It's a separate directory for film personalities,
Okay.
and I used to kind of, it used to be like a pride possession for me amongst my fraternity. As to say, look, you want to speak to Amitabh, I have the number. It used to be things like that. Yeah.
So apart from Amitabh, any other interesting personality from those days that you can talk about?
Yeah, sure. I met Shekhar Kapoor.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was making Mr. India. And much before, I mean, when he was just conceptualizing that, so he spoke to me about that. I've met Dharmendra. Then I have met, the one person that I really enjoyed engaging with was Meenakshi Sheshadri. Although she's not done too much of work, but I think she came across as a very intelligent person, and very, accomplished in academics also. I met her during the shoot in one of the studios in Andheri, and between the shoots, she was studying for her MA exam.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a nice experience. Then I've met Sudesh Bhonsle was just coming up. Then he was doing mimicry of Amitabh Bachchan and singing Amitabh Bachchan songs.
Okay.
Then there are so many. I'm just not able to. I mean, seen a lot of shoots. I had the opportunity to go for that, and of course, I wanted to come out of that and get into mainstream journalism again from film journalism, and I got a call from the Observer.
Okay.
Earlier, it was the Sunday Observer. So their main office was in Delhi, and they sent me a Rajdhani ticket. I still remember this. I was in Bombay, and my dad said, "I'll accompany you since you're going to Delhi and all that." I said, "Okay." So we took the train Rajdhani, and behind me there was a press reporter interviewing somebody, and I felt the voice was very familiar. I turned and saw it was Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay.
And it was during his 4G days and the circus days of TV.
Yeah.
And I very distinctly remember this young man telling the reporter that I have great ambitions. One day I'm going to own this bungalow at Bandstand in Bombay. He said that.
Okay.
And today he lives there, So, I always experienced.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it is very nice. Yeah.
Very true. Okay, so now coming to your book, this is the book that Lata has written, Prisoners of Secrets. This is, I think, your second book.
My second book, yes.
Second book. So who or what was the inspiration for this book? And was this book also born out of your observations? So please tell us a little about your book.
Yeah. So this book, Prisoners of Secrets, Sanjay and everybody else who's listening in, it explores a very, very sensitive issue of secrets and confessions in a relationship, which is otherwise a very beautiful relationship. It's going very well between husband and wife, but unknown to the other, each one is guarding a secret from the past. So my book is trying to explore that aspect of relationships, that are relationships 100% transparent? Are there also some secrets that we keep, and is it okay to keep secrets in a relationship? What is more dangerous, keeping the secret or confessing? Sometimes confessing leads to disasters. When the secret was still shrouded in secrecy, things were going fine. So each secret has to be weighed on its own merit, and that's what my protagonist is grappling with, whether she should reveal or not reveal. So she draws her courage from the silence of keeping the secret. She feels that confessing will break her and break her relationship. And unknown to her, her husband is also guarding a secret. So while writing this book, I went through this entire research and thinking and pondering of, are relationships really so bad are secrets really so bad in a relationship? And who defines which secret is more dangerous than the other? Only the person who's guarding the secret knows whether the secret is harmful or not harmless. The world around, as mere observers, can judge and evaluate and say, okay, no, it's such a secret, they should not have kept as secret. But it's only the two parties involved who would know whether the secret is worth confessing or not. So that's how the story is. And I've always wondered about secrets in a relationship, and why do we even call them secrets? It's something personal. It happened long before you got into the current relationship. So should it matter is what I'm trying to explore here. I'm not saying it's right to keep the secret, but it was just an intriguing thing for me to understand, why do people keep secrets?
Right. So did you draw these characters also, some real life characters that you might have met or observed at some point of time?
Yes. So I have seen, if I may use the word, very innocent kind of secrets. Like I have seen wives not tell their husbands if they get some extra money from their parents' house, and they keep it and they say it's for a rainy day. Nothing, no malice, it's not a bad intent, just keeping it for a rainy day. Well, if you're keeping it for a rainy day, then why not reveal it?
Right.
So what are you fearing? So I've grown up asking these questions to my friends and to people in my family. So not again, I'm not judging that or saying that they should reveal it. I'm just asking, what are their fears? What is the thinking behind keeping a secret? I was very intrigued to find that out.
So what did you find out?
Some people feel that it's not important to know. It's not money that my parents are giving for any other reason. It's like a gift to me. Yeah. So I don't want to. Some people were very frank and said, no, it will not go down well with my spouse to know that I'm still getting money from my parents. And more than spouse, maybe my new in-laws will not appreciate it. Parents, in-law would say, why are you still taking money from your parents? Or some people said they may ask, why only so much?
Okay.
For this occasion. So it can become very embarrassing. And it may not be the end of the issue. In fact, it may be like opening a Pandora's box, and many more issues will come out of it.
Okay.
So it was a spectrum of reasons, very interesting reasons.
So it's a sum total of a lot of reasons, which define your behavior towards those secrets.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
So your book, Lata, you have set it in mostly in the 50s.
Yes.
The story is mostly in the 50s.
Yeah.
So what kind of research you had to do, and a typical Tamil Brahman household there. Yeah. So how did you research writing a book for a Tamil Brahmin family of the 1950s?
Right. So the research was all in-house, Sanjay. I am a Tamilian Brahmin. Okay. And my mother was born in Pollachi. That's the place where the story is set.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have relatives there. I have visited Pollachi also. I took a trip down every place in Pollachi. Just a month even before the book was published, I did that just to reconnect with everything.
Yeah.
And so having grown up in a Tambram family and having lived amongst those traditions and conventions, I kind of enjoyed putting it back on paper. It was reliving a lot of memories and some of the things which I've only heard of and I have not experienced. I've heard these from my grandparents and all of that. So that's how it came in. I took a lot of notes from the people I know in my family, and it really helped. It really helped. Yeah.
Okay. So is there still a jackfruit tree out there in Pollachi?
It's not a jackfruit tree as of right now, and even the house has been rebuilt. Somebody else has bought it, and it's been refurbished and all of that. Unfortunately, the tree is no longer there. Okay. Yeah, but yes, it used to be there. Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to read a few excerpts, a couple of excerpts from your book for our readers?
Sure, I would love to do that. Just allow me a moment, please. Spectacles for this. I'm going to read you a paragraph which will give us a glimpse into who my protagonist is. Meera is a young girl growing up in a very traditional, conservative Tambram family in Pollachi. And the family is governed by the patriarch, her grandfather as the head, who is absolutely a stickler for rules and regulations. All right. Mira, on the other hand, is a rebel. Okay, and she has a love for literature. She's very vivacious and she's very outspoken. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of her relationship with her mother.
Right.
Mira stands on the threshold of the third and final year of her graduation, after which she will walk out with a degree in English literature. The last 2 years have been the best years of her life. With each passing day, Mira blossomed. Every morning, she was up with the sun. She bathed and draped a dhavani around her. Dhavani is a half sari that young girls in Tamil Nadu used to wear in those days. She wore it in the brightest of hues. Muted colors were simply not her. A peacock blue skirt with a bright yellow stole, or a shocking pink skirt below a rich purple stole defined her cheerful spirit. After she was dressed, she would duly set off for the lone women's college in Pollachi. Colors are life, Amma, Mira would say, with a disapproving shake of head at Amma's beige cotton sari laced with a thin maroon temple border. A woman should never draw attention to herself, Amma would respond. Her tireless advice fell on deaf ears. Each time she said that, Mira waved a hand merrily at the several portraits that hung on the walls in the Kudam. Kudam is the central hall in a traditional South Indian family. They were the works of famous Indian artists. Amma, do you think this artist would have painted anything at all if this woman had not caught his fancy? She would ask, pointing at a portrait of a half-clad village belle cradling a lamb in her arms. Or this, Mira would point at the pride of her grandfather's collection, Ravi Verma's Shakuntalam. Amma would slap a hand to her forehead and cry out in exasperation, God save my girl. Amma, womanhood is a universal muse for all forms of inspiration. Our epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, are less about the valor of the men in them and more about the women who occasioned these wars. Who would Ram be if not for Sita? Would Mahabharata have happened if not for Draupadi? So she used to have very often these kind of altercations with her mother, where she was trying to establish a very futuristic and modern way of thinking, despite being in a very conservative and orthodox environment.
So, in fact, when I read the book, apart from Shankar and Meera and Manuel,
yes,
I felt that the relationship between the mother and daughter, Meera and her mother, had been beautifully brought out.
Yes.
And, the bond that a mother and daughter share is something very special.
Absolutely. You may remember that that one particular place where I'm talking about, every evening her mother oils and plats her hair for her. Right. And those few moments where mother and daughter sit together is the only time that they can take out from a very busy kind of a day. And that is the time when mother and daughter actually bond.
Right.
Very and good. When mother wants to spend a little more time with her daughter, she would slow down the process so that she can elongate the process. Yes. That's what I have written here.
That's what you have written. So yes. You also shared a similar relationship.
Oh, yes. I'm very fortunate to still continue sharing that. My mother lives right across on the same floor as I do. My parents are my neighbors, actually.
Oh, that's
This whole thing happened about 3 years ago.
Okay.
When I could bring them very close to me, So
right.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed with both worlds. My mother-in-law is with me. My mother is right across the door.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah. So it's very good. Yeah.
So Lata, now coming to you as a writer. So would you call yourself as a born writer, or was it something which you inculcated?
Okay, it's a difficult question to ask when I have to speak about myself, but I can tell you this with some confidence that I had always had a love for language as a growing up child, like I used to love writing, describing what I see, and also describing my day at the end of the day. was a habit that I had inculcated from my grandfather. And he used to always tell me that he maintained a diary, and he would tell me, write it. I mean, you don't always in life, you will not find someone with whom you can speak out what you feel.
Right. Okay.
But a book will always be your companion. What you write in it will always be your companion, he would say. And that has stuck actually with me. And so playing with words, stringing words together into a meaningful sentence, and just, being enchanted by the magic of words, or something that I grew up with. So I was very fortunate to grow up as a primary school student in Zambia, Central Africa.
Okay.
My entire primary education was done there. And I was introduced to some great books there, because reading was a syllabus was a subject in my curriculum. Every day, 1 hour of reading was part of my timetable there.
Okay.
So I was introduced, and we don't have to buy the books. The teachers select books and keep it on our desks for us to read. Okay. And not just that, once you finish reading a book, the next day you have to stand up and tell the story of that book to the class.
And they were mostly by English writers or even by Zambian writers?
English writers, mainly at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly British writers, because Zambia was a British colony, you see.
Right.
So mainly writers from the UK. So I grew up reading a lot of Enid Blyton. I grew up reading a lot of Ladybird books. We used to get a classification called Ladybird books, very short books with illustrations and stories in big font size.
Okay.
So I grew up reading a whole lot of that. And then, of course, the adventure books, Nancy Drew and, all of Hardy Boys and all of that. Okay. And then my mother introduced me to Panchatantra.
Okay.
Then I became a fan of Amar Chitra Katha.
Okay.
And I still buy Amar Chitra Katha, Sanjay. I'm very proud of my collection of Amar Chitra Katha. Okay. Just that it's become exorbitantly priced now.
Okay.
What we used to get.
Yeah, one time it was really,
Yeah, you should get it for 25 rupees, Now it is 250 rupees. They've just added a zero, I guess, after that. Yeah. But I still buy because I love the whole concept of presentation in the Amar Chitra Katha. Right. And I'm very happy to say that the most senior editor at Amar Chitra Katha publication is an ex-colleague from my journalism days, Reena Puri. So every time they bring out a new edition of Amar Chitra Katha, I get to know what it is, and I buy that. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your writing process? Do you write pen and paper or directly on the computer? How do you write?
Yeah. So I'm a paper and pencil person, Sanjay. I write with pencil, and I use Apsara or Nataraj. These are the two brands I use. And I keep buying boxes, and I write first, handwrite the entire thing. Okay. So I have a very strict process. I am pretty harsh on myself because I follow a disciplined way of writing. I am at my desk because I believe that unless I show up at my desk and write every day, no story is going to take shape. It's all going to be in the head. Yeah. So I write. I try and write every day. If not every day, at least I write 4 days a week. Okay. And when I say 4 days a week, it's about 4-5 hours of writing each day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have that. You don't keep a minimum word count or anything, but 4-5 hours you
No, it's not about 4-5 hours. Now, by now, you see what has happened is the word count target and the time, I've understood how long it takes for me to come to that target, Right. So it's both of them are moving together. It's in if I may say, synergy, Okay. The word count. Usually I try to do about 3,500 words. It takes me that times.
Okay.
And I also have a writing method where I write scenes of my story. So sometimes I don't care about word count. I don't care about the time. I care about the scene to be completed.
Okay.
So irrespective of time.
In one sitting, you would like to complete a scene?
Yeah. Even a couple of scenes in a day, so I like to do that.
Then how do you do the editing, etc.? I mean, because you must be rereading your work a lot of times. So every time you would write a fresh page, or how do you do that?
So initially, it's all a learning process, Sanjay. So initially what would happen is I would write something, and if I took a break and came back to it, I would start editing exactly that piece of writing. Okay. Then I realized that I'm not moving forward at all, and because I'm sure you also know this as a writer, we are never satisfied with what we've written. We always want to rework on it. So I don't do any editing at this stage. The first draft, until I finish writing all my 70,000, 80,000 words, I don't edit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I write, and that's my first process. The second process is where I spend double the time that I took in the first process, and that's where I rewrite, I cut down mercilessly. Then I may add up, I may subtract. That's the time I do my editing. So my second draft is where the chunk of my time and my energy goes into the second draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then fortunately, I have a husband who is very keen in editing, and he's got such a sharp eye for editing. So he does my first round of editing, and that's why my publisher says what comes to us is a finished product. There's nothing for the proofreader to do.
Yeah.
And then my son also pitches in. He's my husband and my son are my first readers.
Yeah.
And they are absolutely heartless critics.
Ruthless.
Totally.
I think same here, because my wife is my first reader, and then she does the first round of editing. Thereafter, my daughter, and she would correct my grammar and everything.
True. Yeah, we are fortunate to have in-house editors like that. Yeah.
So let's know a little more about you. Do you read?
Oh, I read a lot, because I'm of the opinion that if I have to write well, I must read well, because I think the two go together. I can't somehow say that I'm only a writer. Yeah. No, I am first a reader, and then only can I be a writer. So I read a lot. I would love to read a lot more, but unfortunately, I'm not getting that time. But yes, definitely, I'm always with the book. I'm reading. Yeah.
So your favorite book and author?
No, I don't have any favorite book. I don't have any favorite author. I just read whatever I pick up, whatever appeals to me, I read. And I usually read 2 books at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. So because, I switch between a physical book and a Kindle version
you
of another book. Yes, okay. I read both, because when I travel, I find it more, easier to carry a Kindle, because I like to have multiple choices of books to read.
Okay.
But I read both. I'm comfortable reading both. I have no such, no problem that, I must read only a physical book. A book is a story, and I'm in love with stories in whichever format they come to me.
They come to you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now a few quick rapid fire questions.
Lata. Oh God. Okay.
Because we must know more about you.
Okay.
Your favorite cuisine?
My favorite cuisine is my Tam Bram cuisine of curd rice.
Okay. So maybe next time when I am in Mumbai, possibly, try it.
Please. But I must also tell you, Sanjay, that I make very good Sindhi food. I mean, I'm married to a Sindhi.
Yeah.
So my next favorite would be Sindhi curry and aloo tuk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my mother-in-law has taught me wonderful cuisine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Your favorite drink?
My favorite drink is Caprioshka, a little bit of vodka in it.
Okay.
Vodka and pudina. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't drink too often. I'm a very, what do you call it? A very occasional kind of a drinker. I don't drink often. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite attire?
My favorite attire is my sari, the 6 yards of magic. 6 yards of magic. And I must also tell you that I'm a proud owner of saris from every single state of India. I'm a handloom addict.
Okay.
So I have hand woven saris from every state of India, and that's always a perennial debate at home. Where is the space? But I just love that. So I love the traditional saris and traditional jewelry. I'm not into gold at all, but traditional jhumkas with all handmade jewelry I like.
Okay. Okay. And are you a morning person or an evening person, or?
Totally a morning person. Yeah, totally a morning person.
So all your productive hours are in the morning.
In the morning, and everything in the morning. I mean, I cook 3 meals a day. I cook for the family, and so everything I do all of it together with my writing, and I also take out 1 hour time for meditation and prayers. I'm into all of that too. By 6, 7, I wind down. My day is over by 6, 7 in the evening. I can't do any writing after that. I can do reading, and I like to watch some select programs on TV. Not the serial types, but something like a documentary or something. I like to watch that.
Okay. So what are you scared of?
what am I scared of? There are many things I'm scared of, actually, to be very frank. Health is something that I really, because as a family, we've gone through major medical thing that my son underwent, 2 years back, and we've come out of it very well, but there's always a lurking fear, at the back of my mind. So health, yeah, that's my biggest fear.
That's your biggest fear.
Yeah.
Wrong to call it scare, but it's a fear. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a fear. Yeah.
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy is small things make me happy, Sanjay. Like if I've like this morning when I stepped out for a walk at 6:45, there was a beautiful rainbow in the sky. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen
I saw that picture. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
So I mean, I was like a small child out there. I was shouting, and other walkers, I was pointing to them. Look! There's a rainbow. Look, there's a rainbow. Some of them just looked and didn't bother about it. I mean, maybe it was nothing great, but some were very genuinely happy and reciprocated. So small things make me happy. I don't seek happiness. My meditation, I get bliss and happiness through my meditation. I just love that.
Okay. And your happiest memory?
Oh, so I've got plenty, Sanjay. I've been very fortunate. So I've got plenty of memories.
Anyone that you would like to tell us?
Oh gosh, it's a very difficult question.
I know.
So many memories. I don't know if I'll be doing justice if I pick out any one. I think just my son being born to me, and I think for all mothers, it's always the birth of their child, which is a beautiful memory. And it's not just one memory, it's a string of memories. I mean, they go on. Yeah, I do look at that. And of course, holding my first book in my hand.
That would yes.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. And now I'm really, really happy to make more memories with the new one coming up soon.
We'll talk about that also. So what anything that makes you sad?
Yeah, lots of things that make me sad. I mean, suddenly hearing about the farmers' law being repealed made me very sad. That, lots of things make me sad, that it's such a waste saying that it's repealed now, I mean, so many lives have gone, and there are lots of things that make me sad, Sanjay. Like I had a cook who was with me for 18 years. Okay. I lost her to COVID.
Oh.
Yeah, 4 months back. And that's why I've not appointed anybody else. I'm doing the cooking myself. She lives in my heart. I mean, she is a part of my family, and losing her every day, it's a stab in my heart. It's really painful.
Yes, it must be, because I remember last year when you were with us in our Rotary Club interaction, you had spoken about this lady.
Yeah.
And she was there at that time.
Absolutely. And she was so encouraging of my writing.
Yeah. And she had taken care of your son also.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, it's so difficult to believe. She was just 40 years old and she's left behind a son who is also challenged. He's a challenged child, and he's all alone. She was a single mother. So, I mean, so it's difficult. Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
So one thing that you would like to change in your life?
I don't think. I'm happy, and I'm accepting of everything that comes into my life. As I told you, Sanjay, the only way we could tide over this medical issue of my son was only because I think as a family, God blessed us to accept it first. So, I mean, he was diagnosed with cancer, my son. Yeah. So it's now been 3 years and it's fine. But I think it's all because I'm happy for that also, because of that cancer, I went to a spiritual way of life, and I'm happy for that. I'm very grateful to cancer for having showed us that way also. Maybe we'd never have gone down that path had it not been for this thing. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm open to everything now.
Yeah. So would you like to tell us a little about your next book?
Oh, surely. I'm so happy to talk about it. I can tell you only a little bit because it's not yet out. It's called Road to Abana. And Abana is a Sindhi word. It means native or homeland. And it is the story of a young Sindhi widow who was rendered homeless within a few hours of the partition in Sindh, in Sakar in Sindh. And she's forced to stay as a refugee in one of the camps on the outskirts of Bombay. But she's not at peace. she makes a pledge to herself that she will return, even after several years, she will return to reclaim her home. And that is the story, Road to Abana, and her journey. It's not an easy journey to go back and reclaim a home. What is it that she goes through? That's the story all about it.
Okay, so we'll wait. We'll eagerly wait for the release of this book, and
absolutely
looking forward. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So now, any message that you would like to leave with our the book lovers on our group?
Yeah. So one thing I would like to say that I have immense respect for book readers and book lovers, because of people like you, people like Sanjay and me are able to put our hearts out and write, because we know that there are people out there who would give our book the love that we want you to give it. So all that we ask for is just love our books. That does not mean that you should not give us feedback or criticism where it's due. Please do that. And I think the biggest award for a writer is a review. So it'll be great if it'll be great if you can take the time out to read the book and to drop in at least a couple of lines of review, so that we know we are moving in the right direction and we can always make corrective measures along the way. But definitely, I salute to you all. Book readers are a world of their own. Thank you so much for being book lovers.
So now I open the session for any questions that our members may have for you, Lata.
Yeah, sure.
So please, I think anybody who has, right now everyone is on mute. So anybody has any questions for Lata, please go ahead, unmute yourself and please go ahead. Yeah. She's all yours now.
Sure. Very good evening. I'm Professor Shankar Sahai. If I may ask, can I ask a question?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, Ms. Lata, first of all, heartiest congratulations to you for your latest book.
Thank you so much.
I have a question because me and my wife, we have come up with our latest book, Dosi Junction. So just wanted to ask you, it's always a query for me that do you think that something like Kindle or online reading, online books, they will be able to wipe out the, you can say the book, the paperback?
No, not at all. I don't think there'll ever be a day when physical books will not exist. They'll always be there. It's just that there's another facility for reading now. Kindle is just another facility for reading. I'm sure it's not going to wipe out the physical book. Maybe now what will happen is physical bookstores may not be available so much, because it's all about economics and they don't make so much money because the physical book is also available online. You can order your physical books through online e-commerce platforms. For that reason, maybe the bookstores will not be so popular, or they may close down, but physical books will always remain. No, they're not going anywhere. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Welcome, and all the best for your book.
Thank you. Thanks.
Next question.
Hi, Lata. This is Sanjay Sethi.
Yeah, hi, Sanjay.
My question is not about the book. The question about keeping the secrets in general. So we have a Indian mythology, a character Narad Muni.
Yes.
So the Narad Muni had the habit of not keeping the secrets and being very transparent.
True.
And those situations led to some very necessary fights.
Yes.
And those fights actually brought some purpose to that.
True.
But yet the character of Narad Muni is not one of the most desired characters that we have seen around us.
Sure.
So can you, with your life wisdom, tell us that where the telling the truth and being transparent must stop, and beyond which it stops to remain virtue and becomes more like a liability?
Sure. Now, talking about Narad Muni, the little that I know about mythology is that he leaked out secrets which were otherwise between two other people. So he was in all stories, he was the third party. He was not the concerned party, first of all. So what I think is, in a relationship, you can keep secrets from each other, But if that revelation happens from a third person, then it's going to hurt the relationship far more than having one of the two people, the parties, reveal it themselves. That is one. The second thing is knowing when to reveal and how much to reveal. What's the transparency? When is it safe? When does it become over the line? I personally feel it is something that your intuition or your gut feel, your heart will guide you. It depends on where you are in that relationship. Not every relationship reaches its degree of maturity at the same time. There's no standard timetable for that. So it's something that we have to take a call. Your heart will tell you is the time is now right for me to reveal the secret, or maybe it not yet, or maybe it's good that I don't talk of this at all throughout the lifetime of this relationship. These are personal calls you take, and that's why I'm always intrigued by people who reveal secrets because somebody told them reveal it now. It's a call that you have to take. Your heart will guide you there. And as a person who has I've also been a pioneer of emotional intelligence training in India. So I would like to tell you that I've studied a lot about emotional management and stuff like that. You have to listen to your heart. Your heart will not misguide you. That's called intuition. So follow the inner radar. There's always an inner radar in all of us which says what you're doing is right, what you're doing is not so right. If you follow that, I think we are all pretty much safe.
So in a way, the virtue of transparency is a little bit overrated. Do you believe?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because it also depends on whether what you're going to be transparent about, is it going to create a conflict? Is it going to harm the other person? So it also depends on how much of transparency you want to engage in. So everything is a call you take in that moment of that relationship. And you cannot be swayed by the opinion of others here. Only you know best what you're going to do with that secret. It's the safest that way. And believe me when I tell you, there'll be enough people who will sway you also.
Very interesting.
Thank you. So we have to take the call. The ultimate call is ours. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, any other question from anyone else?
I see Usha is muted.
Usha ji, you are muted. Please unmute yourself. Usha ji is also a part of our Rotary Club, our Rotary Club in Gurgaon.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Usha ji, please. Yeah.
Now I have lost you all.
Your video is also off now.
Now, is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Now, I feel very strongly that the truth, I said that the truth which hurts the other, why should you share it and hurt the other?
Absolutely.
It may hurt you a little bit. Keep that hurt within yourself. Yeah. I haven't told my partner, keep it yourself. But at any cost, do not hurt the people you love by your truth.
Exactly. You speak the language of Meera, my protagonist in the book. That her exact words.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm sure you also appreciate that this is a very individual thing.
Absolutely individual. Yeah. And then when you share, because of an individual thing, later on you realize maybe I should not have shared.
Yeah.
So this is a very tricky thing.
Absolutely. Thanks
and
for
so
that.
Wonderful you raised this question. It's an important question for everybody, all the youngsters, all the people who are.
Sure.
It's a wonderful question. Yeah. And lovely having this to attend your session. Thank you.
Thank you, Usha ji.
Thank you, Usha ji.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Lata, for a wonderful session. And thank you very much, all the readers, all the book lovers, for being a part of this session and being a part of Pioneer Book Lovers Club. Do send in your short stories for a chance to be published. Details are available on our Facebook page of the Pioneer Book Lovers Club. And once again, thank you very much, Lata.
My pleasure.
Our pleasure. And our author for the next month is Asha Iyer Kumar. She is the author of That Pain in the Womb and other books. It's a collection of short stories I have read, and each of these stories is a poignant story. It's a beautiful story. And please look out for the notification on the Facebook page of Pioneer Book Lovers Club. And thank you all once again for being with us. Thank you, Lata. Bye, and have a wonderful Sunday evening.
Thank you so much, everybody, for having me there. Thank you very much, Sanjay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.